Rod Vachon Holdings proudly presents Warweek Radio Chats with ring announcer Joseph Herron.
Oh, I tell you what, ring announcer Joseph Herron. I like the sound of that. But I tell you what, guys, at this time, and once again, thank everyone for joining me for this late night edition of W.A.W Boxing Chats pre-fight edition, because upon interviewing James Gogi, Ronnie Shields, Rick Glazier, Thomas Triber, I haven't gotten a chance to voice my own opinion about these things. And to help me do this, it's my pleasure to introduce to the stage at this time my nephew from Florida. And you know what? One of the reasons why I went live, I was hoping that I'd see Anthony Manzano, just because I wanted to see if my little brother was safe from all of the devastation surrounding him. And here he is.
Yeah,
Hola,
no,
my friend.
we're down in the Keys. I got lucky. My family that's in Sarasota, actually, we got lucky. We only lost power for like maybe a few hours. We just got it back, and a few trees got knocked down. No serious damage or anything like that.
That is wonderful, brother. I was praying for you and your loved ones. So God bless all of you guys, and I hope everyone remains safe and puts their trust and focus on Jesus Christ. That is your provider and protector. In the upcoming seasons, everyone would be wise to put their focus in Jesus, right? Give all of your concerns, give all of your stresses to him, and the Holy Spirit will guide you in the upcoming seasons. So God bless all of you guys. But we're here to talk about boxing, my friend.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Joe. By the way,
Yeah,
I had a question
ahead,
in the
sir.
chat. I'm not sure if you saw it, but I can ask it since I'm up here. Joe, what are your thoughts on that whole all these comments from Tim Bradley calling Tank Davis fraud? For me, it makes Tim sound envious and jealous of Tank.
Yeah.
Am I being too harsh, or is that an accurate an accurate portrayal of these comments from
Tim Bradley.
Tim Bradley's calling this fight trash with Lamont Roach and stuff like that.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up, because we will read. I saw this in article form on Boxing News 24. And so let's read the comments from Terrible Tim Bradley. I actually liked him. He's a really good guy. Good family man. Excellent fighter. Hall of Famer. So these were his comments on I don't remember what podcast I listened to, but it was on a recent podcast, and this is what he said. He said, quote, Lamont Roach was the front runner then, and now he's moving up from 130. This is another fighter that Tank is pulling up 130. He did this already with Hector Luis Garcia, Leo Santa Cruz. Now he's doing it with Lamont Roach. Yeah. And then he goes on to say, this is very underwhelming fight. This is a very underwhelming fight, especially on pay-per-view. Man, it's hard to get excited about this one. We know what's going to happen already. It's going to be another Tank Davis KO victim, just like Frank Martin in June. Okay, well, what was wrong with the Frank Martin fight? He was the #1 contender for the WBC, and he was a legitimate contender, right? A legitimate contender at 135 pounds. What was wrong with the Frank Martin fight? Okay, here we go. We're going to keep going. Tank was willing to fight someone tougher, Vasily Lomachenko. I don't want to criticize him too much, but this is not a good consolation. Man, this is matchmaking. Listen, matchmaking can cover up any fighter's imperfections. I'm just going to let you guys know that. It's just like the makeup you guys are wearing right now. Both of you guys look pretty, but in reality, and this is Bradley talking to Bernardo Osuna and Mike Coppinger, right? He goes, both of you guys look pretty, but in reality, you and Bernardo Osuna are as ugly as hell. I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all. Look, this is the Tank Davis Protection Program. This has been going on for a long time, people. They've been bringing the guys up from the lower weight classes to get in with Tank. And Tank looks spectacular. It's a cover-up. I'm going to tell you right now, I think Tank is a good fighter. I don't know how great he is because he doesn't fight anybody. But from the looks of it and the matches he's been having, the dude looks like a total fraud. Put him in the ring with someone that can punch back, someone with a great IQ, just as well as he is. Okay, first of all, let me stop right there. Now, who would that
Did you forget Ryan Garcia?
Hold on. Who? Apparently so. So who would he want him to fight at 35? Who can punch back and someone with an equally great IQ? And then listen, they're saying he doesn't have an opponent for him. Yes, you do. You have an opponent in your own stable. His name is Edwin De Los Santos. Okay. So, guys on the pay-per-view platform, Edwin De Los Santos, what has he done? He stunk out the joint against Shakur. I don't want to see him in a pay-per-view. That's in a main event. So who else? Who else, brother? Who else?
William Zepeda.
Edwin De Los Santos facing another counterpuncher in Tank Davis. Yeah, it'd be like watching paint dry. Okay, once again, who else?
Zepeda.
Who else from 35? Zepeda is fighting in November, and then he's fighting Shakur Stevenson in January. They have no interest. Once again, guys, the hardest part of matchmaking, Tim Bradley's never done it. He talks like, oh, man, this is matchmaking. There's a protection. Dude, have you ever done it, Tim? Anyone can pull two names out of a hat and think they can put together a match. I'll tell you why matchmaking is the hardest job in boxing. One, it's fighter availability. Two, and if they're willing, if they're going to be stepping in the ring with Tank Davis, they are going to want a small fortune because it might be their ass.
And these fighters,
hold on. Raymond Murataya. Tell you what, I like the sound of that. But you think he's ready?
I don't think Raymond's
last two performances.
No, I don't think he's ready.
Do you think he's ready?
No.
Do you think that would be any better than a champion currently just 5 pounds lower in Lamont Roach Jr.? Let's just face it. Right now, he looks like the best 30-pounder in the world. Right?
If the only way I see that Murataya fight happening with Tank, if he fights a guy like Valenzuela and he beats Valenzuela and stuff like that, maybe that would help him.
No, he's at 40. We're talking 35, brother.
Oh, wait, is Valenzuela at 140 already?
He's the current WBA champ at 140, Holmes. Here, hold on. Let's look at the current rankings, right? Let's go to Box Live right now.
Yeah, Box Live is.
Let's look at the rankings at lightweight, shall we?
Yeah.
All right, and let's rattle this off because honestly, Tim Bradley sounds
Can you share the screen?
You're right on the money. He sounds like a bitter hater. I sure will. Hold on, sir. Let me find it first, Anthony. Tranquilo. Patience, sir. Yeah. Hold on, brother. You know what I'm going to do for you guys? I'm going to do a Christmas version
Dude, my autism makes me impatient sometimes. I'm like, I don't have
Brother, I know. Trust me, I feel your pain on the daily. Trust me. And let me tell you, the only cure for that, and this is going to be an ongoing theme forever for me, the only cure for that is the Holy Trinity, my friend. Because, dude, and you know what? Once you devote your life to Christ, he will put those scenarios in your path so you can work on that stuff. Because, brother, I find myself getting tested on the daily often. And it's frustrating. But I
Yeah,
just
these dumb
give it
takes,
God.
these dumb fan takes that you
Yep.
they
Yeah.
uh,
And hey, I've got more. I've got more for today. We are going to have, guys, another edition of Terrible Fantics. Look, and as soon as we finish this topic, I'm going to tell you why I named this podcast entitled "Fans and Fighters in the U.S." because they are the two biggest problems in the U.S. market in boxing. And honestly, I had to school some idiot who kept on trying to talk over me on a friend's podcast. Do you know Ezra and Matthew from Brunch Boxing?
I've heard of Ezra, but like no, I've heard of their channel, but no, I haven't been on it. Like I've
Anyway, I was invited to give my opinion, and well, anyway, I'll tell you the entire sordid story because yeah, it really tested my patience, and I failed miserably. Oh gosh, forgive me, Lord Jesus. But yeah,
Joe,
I'll
I have a
go into the
question. Oh, when it comes to
hold
these
on,
box,
hold on, brother. Hold on. Let's man, you are no, I'm kidding. Just jiving with you, my little brother. I was gonna say, man, you are impatient. Tranquilo. Tranquilo ese. I
it's
love
that
it, man.
Dominican impatience in me, dude.
No,
Dominicans
I
have
love you, brother.
um.
I love you, my friend. It's all good, my brother. Hold on. I'm waiting for my computer is awfully slow. But here we go. Okay, lightweight. Since you insist on me sharing the screen with you, here we go.
Yeah,
Um,
because
okay, hold
sometimes like I go on Boxing Live to sometimes, and it's like delayed
on.
with the updated rankings, so I'm not sure how long it
Well,
takes usually.
well, here we go. Here we go, brother. Hold on. All right. Since you insist, you know what, dude? It's taking too long. I'm just gonna rattle them out to you, okay?
Okay.
Once again, Davis is the number one ranked fighter in the undisputed or the lineal Ring Magazine title is vacant, right? Because Devin Haney moved weight, got his ass handed to him, right? And like a bitch, instead of fighting Liam Perro, instead of fighting Sandor Martin, yeah, he decided to sit out like a big baby and sue Ryan Garcia because he got his ass whooped. Not a good look. Not a good look. And I love it that it seems to be the consensus among every knowledgeable fight fan. All right, here we go. Number one is Gervonta Davis. Number two is Vasily. Number three is William Zepeda. Number four is Shakur Stevenson. So those three guys that I just mentioned, they're not available. Lomachenko, they were trying to make a deal for that fight. And Bradley, to his credit, mentioned that. But William Zepeda, not available. Stevenson, injured, not available. Ivan Baranchyk, that's a tough fight and a good fight for anybody. Is he interested? I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. Raymond Murat, number 6. Keyshawn Davis, number 7, not ready. Murataya, not ready. Frank Martin just whooped his ass. Let's see. Hold on.
Go at the sanctioning bodies.
Oh, hold on, brother. Why, you think that's going to be any better? Edwin De Los Santos, Andy Cruz. Honestly, I don't know if he's ready either. And who the hell is Noakes from Britain?
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, Chingao, dude, Chingao. Um, yeah. So the sanction organizations, you want me to look at those?
Yeah, no.
I'll tell you what,
Don't
it
waste your
would be a
time.
waste of time to look at the IBF. So, guys, that's a top 10. So, who does Tim Bradley think? Now, just for shits and giggles, let's look at junior welterweight. Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, who is currently in litigation with Top Rank, right?
A rematch with Ryan Garcia.
Jose Ramirez, who's going to be fighting Barbosa, Liam Perro, Jack Catterall, no thank you. Alberto Puello, he's going to be fighting Sandor Martin for the WBC title, vacant. Subriel Matias, oh, I would love to see that. Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis, no thank you. Hirioka, nope. Richardson Hitchens, I wouldn't mind seeing that. But are these guys willing to come down? Because they can't expect the money guy to move up in weight and appease them when they couldn't draw flies to shit. They couldn't sell out my living room on a Saturday night. So once again, as a matchmaker, you've got to look at all of these things, guys.
I have a question. How about Ryan when he comes back from his suspension?
A rematch? I would rather see that rematch than Devin Haney, to be honest, to see if he's learned anything from that last fight. But once again, he can't even make 40. Forget about the chances of him even coming close to making a catchweight between 40 and 35. And cross him off the list. So once again, I will say this. I will say this. In November, I'm really looking forward to seeing Floyd Schofield. But once again, man, he is way too green to fight Gervonta Davis. So once again, what is Tim Bradley's point?
Nothing. He has no point.
Let's keep reading, shall we? Man, is it the power of De Los Santos that they're worried about? The fact that he's a southpaw? Because Tank was doing a whole lot of talking when Shakur Stevenson put everyone to sleep with De Los Santos, but he won't step his behind in the ring and face De Los Santos. That's the fight that everyone wants to see. Who the hell is this everyone that Tim Bradley is talking about?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Like, seriously, who is this everybody? Does everyone really want to see Tank Davis versus Edwin De Los Santos? A guy who couldn't sell out my living room on a Saturday night, and a guy who put everyone to sleep in his last fight. And not the fighters I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fans who tuned in. Hold on, guys. Hold on real quick for a second. That is my Sonny calling in. I'm just going to tell him I am on the air with you good people. Hold on. Keep naming names, though, while I'm talking to my son, okay? Tony?
Okay. Let's see. We said Edwin De Los Santos. Rayo Valenzuela is up at 140, you said. He's a title holder. Mortaya's not ready. Schofield, it's way too soon for him. Shakur, after that fight with De Los Santos, I don't think even Shakur is ready for Tank, in my honest opinion. Even though he was a title holder at 130, I don't think Shakur is even ready for Tank after that horrendous performance he had with De Los Santos.
Well, no, let me stop you right there, brother. Shakur is ready for anyone. Shakur is ready for anyone. That is the fight at 35. That or William Zepeda. Make no bones about it, guys. But look, once again, who is currently calling out Tank Davis? He's the biggest attraction in and around 35. And do you ever hear anyone calling him out? I don't hear anybody. I hear a bunch of criticism from a bunch of fans who have never been a matchmaker, never tried this shit, never done anything in this business. Tim Bradley's never done it. I respect him as a fighter and a commentator, but hey, stay in your lane, son. Unless you've done this shit, you don't know the half of it. And then if you find a willing participant like Shakur Stevenson, how much do you think Shakur is going to demand to step in the ring with Tank Davis?
16 million.
Yeah, these guys, and that's one of the reasons why I called this show entitled Fans and Fighters in the U.S. They are a real problem, guys. They are a real problem. So why isn't, now from what I've just been told today, Errol Spence Jr. and Sebastian Fundora is going to be on a different pay-per-view date than David Morrell Jr. and David Benavidez, which is a stupid financial move by PBC and Al Heyman. And from what Rick Glazer told me, he said, no, that's way too expensive. What the dude? Come on. That means you're pretty much setting up PBC to fail. Why are you guys, fighters and fans, biting the hand that feeds you? Why? You're making it virtually impossible for these guys to make any money and stage more events. The only reason why PBC is even still in business is because Al Heyman basically made Canelo Alvarez an offer he can't refuse. He's given him the Floyd Mayweather business. Hey, man, you get 80% of everything. The parking, the sodas, the hot dogs, the T-shirts, everything. And that's why you hear Canelo after every fight. That's why you hear Canelo after every fight now saying, I'd like to thank Al Heyman. Why do you think that is? That's why he said in an interview, hey, if I started my career with Al Heyman, I'd probably be a lot more successful. And dude, he wasn't talking about legacy guys.
Money.
Because you think any prize fighter gives two shits about legacy outside of an interview. Of course they're going to say that, oh yeah, legacy's everything, man. I want to go down with the bullshit. They want to be well off. They want to be to the point where when they retire, they don't have to worry about money or getting another job. Like all of the unsung heroes of this business, right? Like
the Adam Montequilla Lopez.
Like, hold on. Yeah, Adam Montequilla Lopez right now. He, through his boxing earnings, he was able to buy a house, able to take care of himself, but he is right now working for the U.S. Postal Service. Peter Manfredo Jr. made a couple of really good paydays. What is he doing? Oh, he's delivering. He's like FedEx or something.
Wow.
Yeah. Once again, that's what these fighters want to do. They're not worried about fucking legacy. So what is Tim Bradley talking about? Is there anyone who really wants to see and want to welcome my brother Tycho TV to the show?
Yo, Tycho.
Well, he goes at 35. De Los Santos would be a more attractive fight than Roach. Not to the fans, not to the casual and mainstreams. Brother, I hate to say this once again, and I stated this, had to school some poor sucker last night on Ezra and Matt's face, whatever the hell you call it. Right? Because they're like, oh yeah, man, that's at the pay-per-view level. If you have, how well did Tank Davis's pay-per-view do? His last pay-per-view with Frank Martin, how well did it do?
I'm guessing 550,000.
Hold on. You know what's funny? Fans and just people in general these days. Do you guys understand the difference between a fact and an opinion? Yeah.
So,
hey,
saludos,
hold on, brother. My brother in Christ. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hola, Alberto.
You, my friend. Hold on. Big facts.
I think
I guess their opinion, right? They're referring to, I guess, within the consistently diminishing bubble of diehard fandom. Guys, no one gives a shit what diehard fans think anymore. Because the overwhelming majority of you guys, and I'm not saying you guys specifically, I'm talking about boxing diehards as a whole. The overwhelming majority of diehard fans are no longer paying for a damn thing. So why do you guys even complain? If you're not paying for shit, that's like me going to McDonald's, not paying for a damn thing, and criticizing how bad their food is. One, why are you coming? And two, if you're not paying for anything, why the fuck should we care? So once again, how would it be more attractive than Laurent Roach? Tycho, please explain yourself. Why would Edwin De Los Santos, another counterpuncher, why would that be a more attractive fight than Lamont Roach Jr.?
And honestly, when I think Tycho and I don't know how to pronounce the second guy, that you put it, not Alberto, the other guy.
Oh, the troll account, yeah.
Yeah, the troll account. To be honest,
Mhm.
I think Tycho was being tongue in cheek. I don't think he was being serious when he said that. Like,
No. Tycho, look, I respect Tycho. He's a very knowledgeable fight fan, just like I respect you and I respect everyone as part of our extended family. Because, and once again, I say this all the time. You guys are by far the most knowledgeable group of fans in boxing on YouTube, right? And I stand by that. And I was reminded of that when I visited a friend's podcast last night. Not only are they ignorant, but they're disrespectful. And so I'll tell you the story. And once again, I'm sorry. When you use a real moniker that actually states your name or is your actual account, then I'll show you respect, right? God
Alberto
bless you, my
brought up
friend.
the card for. Alberto brought up the card.
Well, look, and I love this part of it, and then I absolutely loathe another part. Once again, Alberto Puello is a good matchup on paper, just like Tank versus Edwin De Los Santos. Hold on. It's a firefight. Styles make fights. Bullshit. What styles would that be, Tycho? Now, once again, you just said styles fights. You just said it. So, what style matchup is that? Two counterpunchers
Two
waiting for
counter
the other.
power punchers.
Here, listen. They're both power punchers. They're going to be respectful of their power. One, two. They're both counterpunchers. And you know what? Edwin De Los Santos resembles a Cuban mentality. It's a waste of a date. Look, anytime Gervonta Davis fights is not a waste of a date, but it shouldn't be on pay-per-view. Oh, wait a minute. Take it how it is. I'm sorry. Is your opinion now how it is, Tycho? No, seriously. Dude, hold on. I'm going to do this one more time. Tycho. Hey, brother. Don't sing it. Bring it. Put on your headphones, man. I'll be respectful. I don't bite. Dude, conversation like this is very healthy. As long as we don't consistently talk over each other, which is, hold on. Is your opinion now how it is? I'm not expressing how it is. I'm not saying it's how it is. I'm telling you, though, that my knowledge and experience in this business far supersedes most fans who wouldn't know dick about it. And how could you guys? Once again, I'm not holding that against you. I'm not, this isn't from judgment or condemnation. I love you guys. I consider all of you guys an extended family. But my knowledge and experience in this business far supersedes yours. And that's the place where I'm coming from. It doesn't make business sense. Now, once again, if they thought it would sell, if they thought it could sell, then they would have asked Edwin De Los Santos. Okay, but it won't. He laid an egg on the biggest, most widely recognized platform in sports. And the only people who are asking for this fight are boxing diehards. And right now, they're currently not supporting their favorite pastime financially. No, hold on. So fans know what they like. Okay, well, right now what they're saying is they like. Hold on. Fans know what they like. Well, apparently they're not willing to pay for it. And so, are you saying that the paying customers prefer to see Paul versus Mike Tyson? Because that's going to be a much more popular event than Gervonta Davis versus Edwin De Los Santos would ever be. Are you going to pay for that one? Are you going to tune in? Hold on. No one is happy with Roach, and no one would be happy with De Los Santos, who's actually a paying customer. No one gets exactly. Paul and Mike Tyson's a shit show, but guess what? It's going to
make a ton of money.
dollars for Netflix, and it's going to attract a lot more eyeballs than Edwin De Los Santos. Dude, look. Once again, you guys, hold on. And look. I'm tired of all the business talk, Joseph. Well, look, you guys have to understand how this business works so you're not so disgruntled about your favorite pastime. The reason why I started this channel and actually was to educate the fans on the business. So if you understood, the theory behind it was, me and Gogi started this channel. And the theory behind it is now, Tycho, is if the fans know more about how this business works, and that determines why certain decisions are made and certain decisions aren't made. If you guys understand that a little bit better, then you guys will complain less. At least that was the theory behind it. But what I've come to find out is that fans, because they're the only ones on their block that are diehard boxing ambassadors, that they, for some stupid reason, think that they're actually experts. And look, unless you've spent a considerable or substantial amount of time working in this business, son, you don't know nearly as much as you think you do. And that's the problem. That's the problem. It's like, why are you even arguing with me at this time? And once again, I click the link. I'll let you have your piece. Speak your piece, my friend. But once again, all of these decisions are made from a business perspective. So once again, why are you arguing with me, dude? Because once again, if you know this, then why the fuck are you arguing with me? I'm not. Look, I already know this shit. I'm talking about this stuff for you guys. And I'm merely pointing out the flaw in Tim Bradley's criticism as well as yours. Now, you give me one fighter who doesn't take into consideration, and a fighter who is a ticket seller, like Tank Davis. You give me one attraction. You give me one attraction that doesn't consider risk versus reward. I'll wait. And right now, Edwin De Los Santos, a lot like David Morrell Jr., a lot like David Benavidez, a lot like Martin Bacoli, a lot like Ajit Kabayel, a lot like a lot of fighters are considered way too risky for the amount of reward for even taking this on. That's the problem we have in boxing. So now you get this guy avoiding this guy and this other guy avoiding this guy, and that's what's wrong with boxing in the American market.
And then you get these duck narratives.
Yep, unless it's... Hold on. Stimping in the water. Welcome to the show, sir. Joseph, I love you, but you do insult your audience sometimes. Look, brother. Look, I'm just giving what I get. If you think that's insulting, then what do you call Tycho TV's commentary earlier? Once again, guys, I'm not saying anything that isn't true. And if you guys understand the business of this, then why? Oh, hold on. Listen. You seem to disregard that the fans don't give a flying fuck about the business. Well, you know what? What I'm telling you now, okay? What I'm telling you is that you should. So you'll understand how this works and you won't steal shit anymore. Right? And you will recommend to your brethren in boxing not to steal. Tell them not to steal because that is what's killing the business.
And also, if we understand the business more, we wouldn't have these. I think that's how these channels pop up. It's a lack of education and like some of these.
That's the problem. Yeah, Anthony's right. Look, that's the problem. Once again, if you really want to know what's fucking up boxing, it's not the guys at the top. It's you guys. You guys have stopped being the real bosses of boxing when you started stealing everything rather than paying for anything. Okay. So you guys don't want to accept any responsibility for this sport dying in the American market. Guys, because numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie.
Yeah, I think.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Big fights get good buys. Really? Was Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois a big fight? It was for the IBF heavyweight title. Do you know how many pay-per-views it did?
In America,
hold on, less than 20,000. And I'm sure everyone on this platform saw it. Everyone on YouTube was dialed in. So once again, you're dismissing your responsibility, but you still want to complain like you're still considered by everyone involved one of the real bosses of boxing. And you're trying to blame everyone. Right? Hold on. No, as far as stealing fights, I don't steal shit. I either pay or don't bother. Okay, there's other shit to do. Well, very good. Then you're one of the few and the proud. Like I said, I'm not singling any one person out. I am speaking about the entire
generalities.
Huh?
Yeah, you're speaking in general. Like it seems like boxing fans.
I'm referring to the overwhelming majority. Once again, numbers don't lie, guys. I
read an article recently.
Hold on. Did you guys buy? Now I want to hear your thoughts. I want to see your answers in the chat. Did you guys purchase the pay-per-view, the $20 pay-per-view for Joshua versus Dubois? Did you guys? No complaining here, champ. Just stating the other side of the coin. Well, the other side of the coin doesn't consider their responsibility in this equation. Once again, we don't have the luxury, Tycho. We don't have the luxury of being able to depend on mainstream and casual fans to support our beloved boxing any longer. Why do you think everyone is clamoring to get on a Riyadh season card?
Simping, we're not.
Look, and just like Terrence Crawford, how many promoters in the American market are willing to work with Terrence Crawford at this time?
Not a lot.
Because he's a pain in the ass that demands too much money. Once again, it's not all your fault, but it's not the promoter's fault. It's definitely not the network's fault. Guys, there's only two reasons why anyone gets in this business. And I say this all the time.
Money and money.
First reason is to make money. Second reason is to make more money.
And simping. Joe's not accusing anybody in this chat of what is it called? Stealing. He's talking about. This is a common trend actually in sports in general. Joe, I was reading an article that was breaking down pay-per-view buys.
Yep.
This guy was a former. He was a former not a promoter. He was a sports analyst or something like that, or a finance guy for sports. And he say in general, sports fans who like pro wrestling, boxing fans, UFC fans don't really pay for their pay-per-views. That's why the pay-per-view buys are so low in general. Like WWE overbloats their pay-per-view buys, but in reality, it's not as much as their advertising and stuff like that.
Well, here it is. Here it is. And once again, here's the problem. And this is why this show is entitled Fans and Fighters in the U.S. Because not just you guys, it's these fighters. Now, let me put this in its proper perspective. Do you know how much? Do you remember everyone used to call it the Mayweather sweepstakes? Everyone wanted to fight Floyd Mayweather. And they were hoping that he would choose them. It would be a career high payday. And that was only 7-8 years ago, right? 7-8
Then it
years
became
ago.
Canelo.
No, listen, 7-8 years ago, right? Not that long ago. And aside from Canelo, De La Hoya, and Manny Pacquiao, who were big stars on their own, do you know how much the average paycheck was for being an opponent for Floyd Mayweather Jr.? It was $3 million. Now you got assholes who couldn't sell out my living room on a Saturday night requesting as high as $5 or $6 million to step in the ring with a guy like Tank Davis. What the flying F? It's not just you guys, but you guys are part of the problem. And once again, I'm using that term collectively, brother. I'm not singling anyone out. I know you're a great fan, Tycho.
Simpin, that's the issue. Network TV.
Hold on. For crying out loud, there's folks with huge boxing channels that say I'm not paying for that for crap. Well, that's part of the problem now, isn't it? If you understand the business, and now let me say, are there huge boxing channels that know shit about this business? No. All they want to talk about on those channels is a bunch of nonsense and noise that never amounts to anything. They want to fight about who's trading words on social media. That's what they want to talk about. Once again, the Fire Stick Gang or some shit, that's right. And if they really love this sport enough, they would be telling everyone, do not steal this, because you are part of the problem if you do. You're part of the problem if you do. Once again, the boxing diehard demographic was a demographic that promoters and networks could always rely on to be there to financially support their beloved pastime. That's not the case any longer, which is why you're seeing a lot of shit like that's why you're seeing Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. If you guys still collectively supported your favorite pastime and rationalize why you should rather than rationalizing why you shouldn't, then we wouldn't be having these problems. Now, and that is a big problem. The guys who are making money and have monetized channels and big audiences and will receive super chats, right? Those guys are the assholes trying to encourage people to steal this shit. And why? Because they don't know shit about this business and how it affects it. Right? What is our modus operandi on this show? To educate fans about the business so they understand what the consequences are and what their role is in this business. You guys used to be, and you could still be. Now, your role as an ambassador of the sport, just like all these ass clowns who think they're experts and have channels and are making money off of it, but steal every event. If you guys want to do the sport justice and support your favorite pastime, okay, you can be the ambassadors and tell people, do not fucking steal this, or else it will go extinct in the American market. Because how does any business survive if the clientele is shoplifting everything? How are you supposed to stay in business? And these fighters need to understand the reality of this. Like, dude, they're asking for $5 or $6 million bucks. Dude, where's the money supposed to come from? Benavidez and Morrell, they're both asking for a small fortune because it's a dangerous fight. Well, BOOHOO, sell some fucking tickets then. That's why it's on pay-per-view, because Lord knows it's not a pay-per-view fight. So basically what they're doing then, forcing these fighters with their unreasonable purse demands, it's forcing the network to stick this behind a pay-per-view paywall, basically assuring that no one's going to see it. That's the problem. So once again, it's not just you guys. I'm not just singling you guys out. Hold on. Jesus M, welcome to the show, sir. Hold on. Simpin says, we don't care about the business. Well, you better, because it's about to go OOB out of business if you don't. Do you understand that, guys? For almost 100 years, you guys were considered to be the real bosses of boxing. Does anyone consider you guys to be the real bosses any longer? Hold on. No, please tell me why that's cap, Simpin. Please tell me what I said, what makes that cap, and what is your basis for stating this? Now, I know, don't get butthurt, guys, if I pull rank. Hold on. Tycho, I just said that. You guys aren't the only problem. The fighters are the biggest problem. Their entitled mindset. And you guys can thank Floyd Mayweather and Al Heyman for all of that. Everyone, even at the club level, are a pain in the ass to work with.
Joe, could I say something?
Hold on. I just said that, right? Now, once again, please, I'm going to do this one more time. I'm going to drop the link. Don't sing it. Bring it, brother. Put on your headphones and explain to me how that's cap. Right? Yep, look at this. Perfect example. Why do you think I'm so pissed off at Haney? Because I don't like them personally? No. Because this is what's the biggest problem in boxing. And here's the biggest problem. Once again, fans not supporting it financially any longer, that is a huge one. But the bigger problem is this. Boxing is not like any other pastime in America. It's comprised of thousands of sole proprietorships. And not one of those sole proprietorships gives two shits about the health of the product and the future of boxing in the market.
Joe, could I say something?
Go ahead, Anthony. Go ahead, sir.
What I was gonna say was, I'm a Dolphins fan. The owner, the promoters are like Stephen Ross. They treat the fans like they're idiots. Like they give them like they take their money and give them what they.
No. That's not correct. That's incorrect, Anthony. They don't treat them like idiots. They treat them with a very serious regard and want to put forth the best product for them. Right? They want to do that, but look, their bottom line is to meet their bottom line and to make money. Now, once again, the NFL has no problem making money because they attract Fortune 500 sponsorship. Now, once again, here we go, guys, getting into the business about this. Right? We're going to get into the business because you guys need to know this shit. The reason why it's not on the network at this time, because they cannot get enough Fortune 500 sponsorship to pay for the event. That's why you guys have been foot the bill. That's why you guys, if you love boxing, hold on. Let Tony express his opinion. But look, it's not a good analogy, so I cut him off. But Anthony, if you'd like to, go ahead, sir.
Oh no!
Finish your opinion.
No,
because it's apples and oranges. They're not run the same way, sir.
No, the reason why I singled out the Dolphins specifically is there's certain promoters that steal. That's basically. I'm not saying they treat the fans like idiots. They just take the money and give the fans, like they give them fights. They put them behind pay-per-view, either a pay-per-view wall or they overprice the pay-per-view and force the fans to overpay for a fight that's not worth a that's not worth pay-per-view money, and they just expect the fans to buy. Like they know the fans are going to buy either way and stuff like that. That's what I meant. That's why I use Stephen Ross as a comparison of the Dolphins.
Well, look, I understand what you're going for, but you shouldn't.
Why?
Look, because one, the NFL has collective bargaining agreement and has a players association, right? And two, they're run completely different. It's not boxing is not run like a pastime.
Unified.
There's not run like a sports league in this country. It's run more like the entertainment industry, like the the music business. It's run almost
Or the movie
identically to the
industry.
music. No, well, the movie industry is a little bit different because it's got the Screen Actors Guild, and then you've got the major studios. But look, we're all feeling the same pain though. Piracy is killing every entertainment field and platform at this time.
And Jesus and Simpin brought up network television. That's not going to happen, guys, because Fox moved out, HBO moved out, and Showtime moved out because they were losing money on boxing. And that's
why were they losing money? Because of entitled, overpaid bitches. So once again, guys, this is the biggest problem, right? And when you overpay fighters well beyond their realistic market value, it makes it virtually impossible to put together the best fights. So, guys, ask me once again why Gervonta Davis is having a hard time finding opposition in a very talent-rich division. Because these guys have turned into a bunch of entitled bitches who are looking out for number one, and no one is looking out for the future of boxing and the health of the sport overall. That's the reason why I stress the business. It's imperative that you guys understand this. And once again, so without major sponsorship any longer, okay, because let's just face it, this pastime has turned into a fringe sport in the American market. So where does the dependence lie? Where are we expecting to come up with the money to fund these events without sponsorship, without any kind of major network looking to foot the bill for these big time events and to pay for these unreasonable purse demands from these fighters? You guys, they're looking to you guys, and you guys aren't having any part of it. That's why I'm saying it's collective. It's a collective problem, and you guys are a major part of the solution and the problem as well. It's imperative you guys understand this concept. Because Joe, no business can flourish or even survive if their most loyal fans and supporters are not financially supporting it any longer. They're shoplifting everything. That's the problem. So the guys who complain about it the most are usually, from my experience anyway, most of them, the overwhelming majority of the time, the guys who are complaining about this the most are the biggest culprits and the ones who steal everything. Because if you have any skin in the game, if you pay for an event, you actually want to like it. If you pay for a dinner at Ruth's Chris, you want to have a wonderful experience that is worth your money. These guys who steal the shit, oh, they complain about everything. Even down to the
and Joe, this is why
of the fighter.
See, and Joe, this is why for me, I was hoping before there was two. I can't remember what three senators before they were passed away that they were trying to force like pass laws to regulate the sport of boxing and have like a one controlled, like here in the United States and stuff like that, to have one set of unifying rules or whatever to prevent all these price gouging and piracy issues.
What has to happen is that all promoters need to be on the same page and say, look, guys, we have to stop this. But then you get assholes like Eddie Hearn. Well, look, I'm not going to adhere to that because then I won't get any talent. I want to recruit talent by overpaying them with the zone's money. You think he gives two shits about them not making the network money? He should. Because right now in the American market, he's doing great in the UK with Turkey LLC's money. But in America, he's virtually biting the hand that feeds him because he is wasting his own money overpaying these guys just to get them to sign a multi-fight contract with Matchroom Sport.
And that's what scares me, Jose, that fight that Morrell versus Benavidez fight might flop on, do well on pay-per-view.
If it's not in the co-main event of Spence versus Fundora, it will. It's assured to flop. Like it won't even do 75,000 purchases. And this is a fight, Tycho. This is a fight that supposedly every diehard wants to see. So you mean to tell me that there are only 75,000 diehard fans left in America? And I think I'm being nice. I think W.A.W has the beat. Welcome to the show, sir. So you mean to tell me the fight that everyone wants to see at 68 or 75, no one's going to pay for it? And once again, I rest my case on that.
And Joe, and this is what honestly you brought. Now I'm starting to see what you're saying. The reason why the NFL, like NBA, it's apples to oranges comparison. Now I see what you're saying, that you can't really compare boxing to like the regulated sports like baseball, football, because they have a piracy law before every game that if a fan is caught pirating the game or
every promoter has one of those, right? Every platform has one of those.
A copyright?
That you cannot resell or whatever, right? Hold on. And they always put that disclaimer on every pay-per-view. Now hold on. Now let me get to this point. Joe, but those fighters aren't pay-per-view guys. Okay, here we go. I'm going to educate you more on the business. Now, what determines, I already stated this, but I'm going to say it again. What determines what goes on pay-per-view? I just broke this down. Fans. So, guys, it's imperative. It's imperative, guys. Now, for these discussions to be effective, right? For these discussions to be effective, you can't just merely focus on what you're saying. You have to listen as well. And don't take that as an insult, because I already told you why earlier in this discussion. But I'm going to say it again. These fighters, right? These fighters are demanding purse amounts that are far exceed their realistic market value, that don't equate to more subscriptions, that don't appeal to a larger mainstream and casual demographic. But to make the fight happen, they have to put it behind a pay-per-view paywall to make it cost effective, to get some of that money back. It's better than nothing. Because right now, boxing diehards aren't even subscribing, paying for subscriptions. They're stealing everything. So think about this. If diehard fight fans, because right now, DAZN, even with all the talent they have in the American market, they still haven't surpassed the 500,000 subscription mark in the US. That's a huge problem. And so we get assholes like Devin Haney demanding almost $5 million to fight another non-ticket seller like Regis Prograis, who demanded over $3 million to step in the ring with Devin Haney. So when your combined fight purse for the main event alone is approaching 10 million. So DAZN makes the decision, oh shit. Well, because these guys are diehard, appeal only to the diehard fan base, we're going to be forced to put it behind a pay-per-view paywall. That's what determines now which fighters are pay-per-view fighters. You're thinking of, Tycho, you're thinking of the model back in the old days where closed circuit and pay-per-view was designated for the truly special events. We are long away from that. Now what determines pay-per-view is how much these fuckers ask for. And right now, if you fight for BBC, everything's going to be on pay-per-view because it's a distribution deal only. They don't even get DAZN funding. They don't have Showtime funding anymore. Let's just face it. 2 years ago, Benavidez versus Morrell would be on Showtime Championship Boxing for free for regular subscriber Showtime. But guess what? We don't have that any longer.
And Joe, I've been saying this from the beginning. Like, and when I say this, people think I'm crazy. Honestly, to save boxing, the Endeavor people need to buy it. Like these promotions, because it seems like the Endeavor guy is putting the right people ahead of these like the right people ahead, like the right people in charge of some of these companies that they own, like WWE or like a
look. I'll tell you what we need to do, and I've stated this. The only solution I can think of, right? And yeah, W.A.W has the beat, right? That's right. So look, guys, here's the solution, because everyone knows that pay-per-view, that's an antiquated business model that is broken and doesn't work and will never work again. Because, like our brother Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz and More says, hey, you know what? As far as I'm concerned, you know, the internet is undefeated. Yeah, look, and I understand the fan side of things. They have a sense of entitlement, and it's hard to blame them, because even when boxing was a mainstream pastime, when the promoters fucked us and decided to put this behind a paywall, either HBO or HBO pay-per-view, Showtime or Showtime pay-per-view, that took it away from mainstream audiences. We had it made back in the 70s and 80s.
And
right?
You said what screwed it up
listen,
even more.
I'm not finished. Here, listen, I'm not finished. So now, now I forgot what I was going to say. Thank you for interrupting me, Anthony.
Sorry about that.
That's all right, brother.
Oh no!
Look, no. I remember now. So the solution, we've got to go back. We've got to go back to that point before the promoters fucked us. Guys like Don King, guys like Bob Arum, guys like the Duvas, they fucked us. And so we have to do is put it our best product, which is usually the pay-per-view matchups. We need to put those on a platform in which everyone's going to see, and it's not going to force these guys to pay extra. We have to put this on Netflix. We need to sell the biggest events to Netflix. Okay? That's what we need, and they're not going to do it unless they understand that people are going to be interested. And I'm not referring to you guys. I'm referring to the larger money spending casual and mainstream demographic. Why do you think Canelo pay-per-views always do show a solid number? It's not the diehards that are paying for it any longer. Like, tell me something. Were any diehard fans, you guys, were any of you guys truly interested in seeing Canelo versus Edgar Berlanga? Yet it did very well on pay-per-view. Why? Because it appealed to a larger mainstream and casual demographic. So in order to get them back, we need to put our best matchups on a platform that will expose it to everyone. This is where Netflix is essential. They have over 270 million subscribers worldwide. Okay? Worldwide. Put our best matchups on that platform, and it will give that shot in the arm that boxing needs. Lance, I see you, brother. I just don't understand what you're saying at this time. Love you, brother. Welcome to the show, my friend. Hold on. Jesus M says this. Joe, do sports business make money from internet providers? Fuck no. No one makes shit from internet providers. Why do you think bands are consistently having to tour well into their 70s? Dude, Iron Maiden is on tour again. And I'm going to see
What?
him on November 17th. That's my birthday, guys. And I'm going to be turning 50. I'm not going to disclose my age, but I'm an old geezer. But yeah, well into my 50s, approaching 60. And so I'm going to go see Iron Maiden on my birthday, November 17th. Happy birthday to me. But the point is, they're still having to tour well into the 70s when they should have been retired already. And why is that? Because Spotify, all of the YouTube, all of the music platforms are paying them pennies for their intellectual properties. They're not making money off of records or CDs or any of that stuff any longer because the medium has changed. The only way they can make real money today is by touring extensively year after year after year. If you love live music, this is by far the best time to be a music fan. But here's the problem. Even though boxing is run almost identically to the music business, the biggest glaring difference, and here's the biggest problem, we cannot force fighters into the ring 20 times a year. That's the problem. And that's why these guys, to support their lifestyle, want to break the bank every time they fight, which is like a fucking groundhog these days, only once or twice a year. That's why I said, guys, this sense of entitlement from fighters has to go. If to guys like Terrence Crawford, if guys like Shakur Stevenson, if guys like Devin Haney do not want to fight any longer for their fair market value, hey, nice knowing you. You've had a great career, but it's over. Kiss my ass. Sorry, not sorry. That's it.
Jose, I understand what you're trying to say with pirating is not free, but there's websites people can go on the internet to illegally stream these fights and stuff like that. There's actual I found a few websites when I was trying to watch my shows. Like, let's say I missed wrestling and I didn't record it. I can go on this website that actually has the pre-recording of the show on there to watch it and stuff if I didn't record the show. And there's on the top part, it shows different like live stream 1 in HD or something like that. And that's what fans can go on these websites that illegally stream these things without having to pay for the fight.
So listen, guys. Yeah. And you guys all make very good points, and I love this discussion, guys. Absolutely love it. Keep it coming. Double L says they're literally holding the divisions and belt hostage by only fighting once a year. It's hurting the entire sport like a domino effect. Yes, sir. That's, guys, once again, this is why I titled this show Entitled Fans and Fighters in the US. That is the problem. The biggest problem of that equation is by far these entitled bitches that we used to call fighters. That's the problem. Hold on, let me say hello to my brother from Austin, Texas, my brother in Christ. Welcome, brother Gus. Says, okay, then just choose different fighters. That's it. Fuck them. If they don't want to fight for fair market value, fuck them. That's it. That's the only way this business continues. Otherwise, if we continue to hold these terrorists who lace up the gloves once or twice a year to hold the sport hostage, yeah, we're going to sink like a lead balloon. We'll continue to sink like lead balloon. And unfortunately, my only solution that I could come up with is Netflix. That is the solution. Because the pay-per-view model does not work, it only hinders. And there's a saying that Emmanuel Stewart used to say, well, look, Joseph, consider this every time you open your fucking mouth. If it doesn't help, then don't hinder. If you can't help, don't hinder. Think about that before you propose anything to me. If you can't help, don't hinder. Once again, guys, if you can't help, don't hinder. Right now, the Haneys, the Stevensons, right? The guys who are the Crawfords, the
Maybe
Canelos,
Tiafimo too.
the Tiafimos. Fuck yeah, dude. He's been in that category forever. As a guy who isn't shit, confined to the Hulu Theater in his home area, and he thinks he's deserving of Floyd Mayweather money?
Oh, Joe, what I was trying to say earlier is you always tell me this. If it wasn't for the casinos offering these massive site fees, we would have had these fights in major arenas, like what is it called? Like
I'm sorry. What, Anthony? Please.
remember you said having the casino screwed the
Yep.
everyday
That was
fans.
another decision that the promoters, how they screwed us. Rather than having these fights regularly in mainstream American facilities like sports arenas, where football is played, where NBA is played, where hockey is performed, where baseball is played. Right now, do you see that crowd? To see the Yankees and the Kansas City Royals?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have a problem selling out their big events. But I will say this, and so that's in mainstream America, guys, where it's available, readily available to the local fans who diehard support that franchise. Where are all of our biggest events? Well, we're seeing one this Saturday in Saudi Arabia. And why? Because the American market couldn't support it or weren't willing at this time. That's fucking sad. So once again, guys, do your part. Understand that stealing the event is not helping but hindering. In the words of Emmanuel Stewart, if you can't help, don't hinder. If you can't pay for it, at least don't fucking steal it, and recommend to everyone not to steal it. Possibly think of supporting the local businesses who are showing it for free, like Dave and Buster's. Why do you think I always promote and schedule fight parties at Dave and Buster's? So if anyone isn't willing, come out and have a good time, buy a couple beers, watch it for free. Buy a burger. Their menu has gotten better.
Joe, it's funny you should say that. I can't remember which fight it was. We went to Buffalo Wild Wings. The place was packed with a lot of boxing fans where I lived. They were I think it was the first fight with Deontay and
Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was packed. It was
big,
completely packed.
Now listen, this is how bad piracy has gotten, guys. And you could say the same thing about Fury Usyk earlier this year. Now, once again, that was a big time promotion, and that basically tanked boxing for Fox. They will never have boxing appear on that ever again. Al Heyman and Bob Arum killed it, right? And because they negotiated an absurd inflated purse, and they paid so much money to the networks for the promotion of that event. Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder 2. Right? And so what were the pay-per-view numbers? Everyone was dialed in and talking about that fight. They were on ESPN. You had a spot in the Super Bowl, for crying out loud. And so what were the pay-per-view numbers? 825,000 purchases. Guess how many pirated illegally? And the way, once again, guys, promoters, networks are tracking this shit. And I'll tell you how. They use the same music tracking service, Muso, that Spotify and YouTube and every music label uses to track how many people are illegally streaming these events or this music, right? How many are streaming? They use Muso. And so ESPN and Fox, to track how many people stole that glorious undertaking that cost tens of millions of dollars to produce, between, oh gosh, this is a sick number, almost 20 million people stole that event worldwide. And so now you will never see events on Fox ever again. I'm just thankful that ESPN is still involved. But why do you think Bob Arum isn't interested in staging pay-per-view events on ESPN any longer? Because everyone's stealing the shit. Oh, hold on. Jesus M. This Saturday, brother, we are going to be starting at 11 a.m. How do you like that?
Yeah, and what's it called? The current head of Disney is planning to sell ESPN, like cut costs with certain things, like the first. Let's think. What sport is going to be the first to be cut? Boxing.
Yeah,
because
boxing. Look. Yeah, you're right, Anthony. And look, 509 Mex. Welcome to the show, my friend. And hey, man, thank you for hanging with us earlier when we had our discussion with Rick Glazier and Thomas Schreiber from Saudi Arabia. Look, yeah, that really grinds on my last nerve, and that's one of the reasons why I gave my dear friend Rick Glazier a little vacation from the show. But apparently, he hasn't learned anything from that. So yeah, I've come out and asked him, hey man, do not chew. And if you're going to chew something and eat something, if you're famished and can't wait 30 minutes to an hour, then you know what? At least don't chew like a damn horse. Oh, hold on. Baturvia Beeble. Yep. Pacific time, around 3 p.m. Pacific. It's what they stated. And once again, these are Riyadh season cards. So you have to give that flexibility and that window of percentage deviation, so to speak. So anytime between 3 and 4, they're expected to enter the ring. Bevel Baturbiev on the West Coast. So go to your local Dave and Buster's. Get there by
Joe,
between
since you've
3
been in the
and 4. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Tony.
Okay, since you've been in the business, you know how you say piracy was an issue? Was like ticket scalping actually a bigger issue when you were a kid? When people would go to these like live gates where people would actually buy the tickets, then they would wait around to resell them.
Once again, this is
outside
how,
to like fans.
Yeah, listen. This is how
Like
identically. This is how identically it is to the music business, boxing. It wasn't just a big problem in boxing. It was a big problem in music. So now, have you noticed, have you seen how much ticket prices are for music? And you can thank scalpers and third-party ticket sellers for that, because bands got wise and found out, oh my gosh, fans are willing to pay $1,000 for a ticket, especially for a VIP package to meet us. Hey man, we're gonna start charging that much then. Yeah. It's not just PBC, and that's true, by the way. They're doing it for Canelo fights as well. Now, Al Heyman, this is how he makes money on his events. He purchases. Like, you remember when Eddie Hearn was bragging that, oh, Canelo Bivol actually sold out within an hour. Guess who purchased most of the expensive tickets? Eddie Hearn, and he charged triple the amount. Al Heyman did the same thing with Floyd, and he's doing the same thing now for Canelo. And so he's getting treble the profits, right?
So, Joe, in your honest opinion, you feel third-party sellers like StubHub and Fandango are hurting the sports industry?
They're hurting it. Now it drives up the price. Once again, guys, there's so many moving parts that go into this, and I'm not casting aspersions to the real bosses of boxing. You guys do have a specific amount of responsibility, but it's not just you, not by a long shot. So hold on real quick. Jump to, welcome to the show, sir. It's good to see you, my friend. He says every TV is going to be on college football. Yes, most of them are. But yes, my Dave and Buster's is going to be showing that fight for undisputed supremacy at light heavyweight. Once again, they have to show these fights. They have to. It's a corporate. Every Dave and Buster's is a corporate franchise, and as a policy, they want to be considered your centralized hub for every major sporting event. That's how they attract fans. That's how they attract people. And so, yes, they're going to be showing the fight. It may not be on the biggest screen, but once again, what are we talking about? If you don't want to purchase it for your screen, then yeah, go cop a squat in front of the TV that it's being aired on, and they'll have it on. And yes, I am sure about this, my friend. I'm sure about it.
Yeah. And Joe, I know you're not a big fan of this person, but it might change things because Taylor Swift actually is suing Fandango and these like third-party ticket sellers for overpricing. She's actually going to court with these companies for like ripping off her fans for overpricing tickets and stuff like that.
Well, look, best of luck, because I'm sorry, local governments are responsible. They were the ones, pieces of shit, because they wanted to tax and get in on that racket. So they decided to legalize scalping 20 years ago. It didn't used to be. You remember, guys, back in the day, or am I just the old geezer? So scalping used to be. Here, listen, scalping used to be illegal in every state in the union. Now it's legal, and states tax the shit out of it, and they make money from it too. Like I said, that legislation was passed to muscle in on their racket. That's the reality, guys.
So you think Taylor Swift's lawsuit's not going to go anywhere?
Fuck no, it's legal. States legalize scalping.
Oh, okay. No, I thought it was going to help, at least. She's calling it out, but I thought it was going to actually help maybe.
People have been calling out ticket brokers since Pearl Jam, when Ticketmaster used to have a virtual monopoly, right? It's like, dude, it's not going to help. It's going to bring, what are they going to do about it if it's legal? It's not an illegal practice any longer. Back when it was an illegal practice, sure, you could do that. But now it's legal. You see a ticket broker and ad for it every time you look for tickets on the internet. So, guys, we've already been on the air for like 90 minutes. I want to extend this, though. Let's get to talking about boxing and not the business at this time.
Okay.
And I'm going to invite my brother TBS. And if you have your headphones on and if you're at a break, come on the show for a short while, as long as I'm still on, and choose your topic. I'll let you determine what you want to talk about. Because Anthony chose the first topic, and that was a brilliant one. And bravo to you, my friend, for choosing that Gervonta Davis, Tim Bradley criticism, right? So, guys, whatever you want to talk about, and guys, be still my heart. My brother TBS, welcome to the show, sir.
What's up, Joe?
Hola, hermano.
Anthony, ¿qué onda? What's up?
So what would you like to discuss in the final 15 minutes of the show, my friend?
Oh, well, I just got here. I understand. I think you were talking about Morel versus Benavides.
Yep.
Right?
And okay. I was explaining why it's on pay-per-view.
Okay. Okay, yeah. It is an interesting matchup. And
yeah, let's go into the X's and O's now, because we talked about the business of it. But what is your initial thoughts on the X's and O's of this brilliant matchup? And look, let's just say high stakes. It's not only for 2 baby belts, but the real prize is that the winner, theoretically, is going to face the winner of this Saturday night's big undisputed event in Saudi Arabia in 2025. I've already been told that.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Um. Okay. So there's a lot on the line here, and yeah. I mean, these are both guys that have gotten a lot of hype as of late. They both claim to be boogeymen, or at least their fans claim make them out to be boogeymen. That people are afraid of them. No one wants to fight them, so they should fight each other. Finally, they are. So this is what we wanted. We're getting it. Neither guy looked very impressive to me at their 175 debut. So I'm not sure what to expect as far as action. But I think it's pretty even. They're pretty evenly matched. I would say Benavides has more pro experience, so I'm slightly leaning towards him at this point. Uh, but yeah, it's a very good move on Team Benavides because they were saying they were going after Jesse Hart. I was not happy with that decision, so
Well,
I don't know.
look. The only reason why Jesse Hart was mentioned because everyone, and once again, the reason why Jesse Hart, they were trying to hold on, Ugo. If that's your real name, I need to see your picture because the last guy I let on this channel, who I didn't know, yeah, showed some schlong when I actually clicked him and let him on the platform. So if you can't show me your picture, then I'm not going to let you on, my friend.
Do you have an overlay, Joe? Like that's what I do when I don't know the person, when I'm not familiar with them. I'll just put an overlay, and that way, if they do something, you just ban them from the studio.
I
For
don't,
life.
I don't, I don't know how to do that, man. I'm old, dude. Technology and I aren't very good friends at this point.
Okay,
But
okay.
look. Let's no, and I'm show me your picture, brother, because look, the Fundio is not your real last name, right?
TBS for me when
Now,
I look at
look. All of you guys know Spanish. Do you really think Hugo de Fundio is his real name?
Fundio,
no
Fundio? No, come on, that's perverted, bro.
That's it. So if you come across with a moniker like that, I'm gonna kick your ass out of the studio every single time.
yeah
That's it.
TBS when I break down this fight, I was watching some. I I tend to watch a lot of like people who are uh not. I watch former trainers and they say people talk a lot of trash about David Benavidez' defense, but when you really watch his defense, he really doesn't get hit as much as people think he does. When you look at he's a good defensive fighter. He's not getting it when you see his fights. He's not getting his hit as much as
Oh,
you
okay.
think.
He showed me his picture. Hold on, guys. Hold on, Anthony. My apologies, sir, for interrupting you. Okay, go ahead. Very good. All right, brother.
Yeah, what's up? I don't know that's what you meant. It's a joke, man. Don't take the name serious, man. I'm just here to talk
No.
about
It's
boxing.
all
I
right,
understand.
Ugo. It's all right. Welcome to the show,
There's
sir.
trolls. What's
And
up?
look, Anthony, go ahead and finish your thought, and we're going to hear from Ugo after you, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. What I was saying is, this trainer was breaking down David's defense, and he actually was saying that the David has good defense. He is not getting it. It's just hatred from fans of fans who hate David are saying his defense is trash, but he has good defense. He's not getting his hit as much as you think. When you watch his fights, he's actually moving his head around. It's just he doesn't move his lower body. It's his
So
lower
look,
body that's stiff.
Anthony,
It's
you're right.
his
Look.
footwork. Yeah.
Benavidez, his offense is his defense, right? And it's very difficult to deal with, but he does get touched up. For someone at the elite level, which he claims to be, and which his fans claim to be, yeah, his footwork is atrocious and his defense is porous. But anytime you let your hands go that in that manner, like Benavidez does, you're going to get hit. That's like saying Michael Phelps, yeah, he's a great swimmer, but he gets wet too frequently when he swims. That's fucking stupid. Look. And Ugo, what are your thoughts on this brilliant matchup, my friend? Benavidez versus Morel.
Well, it's a fight that should have happened a while back. I wanted to see it at 168. I think at 175 it benefits Benavidez slightly. I think, in my opinion, Benavides is overrated. I think he's a weight bully. He's done good so far with his skill set, but his offense, man, is just too leaky. It's too. I think the second he tries to square up, I think first of all, the same thing will happen to him when he fights Canelo. When he tries to square up, that's where he's actually at his weakest. And I see both Morel and Canelo, if that fight ever happens, piecing him up in there. And because Morel has a
Well,
lot of power, he has great
yep,
angles. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
yep. No. You keep on going, man. I thought you were done. My
Yeah, yeah.
apologies.
No, yeah. He has great angles. He's dynamic in his movement also, and I think he has a better hooks. I think power for power. I think I would edge Morel. I'll give the edge to Morel more. The only problem is, obviously he's adjusting to the weight, so hopefully he shows up this time because I do like Morel. I think he's a strong hitter. I think he can obviously get better. He's still young in the game, so I got Morel. My prediction right now, if I have to call it, Morel ninth round TKO. I think he hits him to the body and just pieces Benavides up after that. He set up a sequence where he can just hit him hard. Benavides is going to stop. He's going to try to get out the way, and Morel's just going to be there and just keep hitting him because I think it benefits obviously Morel. Even though Benavides is known for attrition, I think in that matchup it benefits Morel cracking him as often as he can, and then because those flurries aren't shit, man. They might add up, but I think even in the pocket, worst case scenario, I think Morel's more defensively better. He'll be able to move out the way or parry some of the shots coming in. And Angel Morel, his style, he's a great. It kind of sucks that he hasn't gotten like a bigger push by the Cuban fan base. I don't know what that's about, but he's a great fighter, man. So it's a great showdown. I like it.
Well, he's
That's
an
it.
excellent fighter, and so is Benavides. And here's where I think Louis DeCubas Jr., a dear friend of mine, and Jose Sr., a friend of mine also, really fucked up. Is
Mm.
they saw that and once again, styles make fights, and they should all know this. They're putting too much interest and emphasis on that Hot Rod Kalachik showing, in which the guy was just there to go the distance, wasn't trying to win the fight, and Dave Morrell Jr. was trying to make being not the wisest of strategies, adopting just to try and bomb this guy out, not trying to set anything up, and it was his first stint on a major pay-per-view. So he was trying to just bomb the guy out, and it didn't really work because you know as well as I do on the world-class stage, if a fighter, look at Edgar Berlanga, if a fighter who is just trying to go the distance and meet the final bell and not doing anything to win the fight, like Jermell Charlo, there's very little even the best fighters can do about it, right? And so they're putting too much emphasis on that performance because, in my opinion, if they thought Canelo was going to be a tough out, look out, because Canelo doesn't turn you like this guy's going to. David Morrell Jr., this style matchup is all wrong, and they're going to exploit his footwork. And in the immortal words of Eddie Futch, and Ronnie Shields told me this off the air, right? He didn't want to talk about strategy on the air, and I shouldn't be talking about this, but you guys, I love you guys, so I'm going to tell you, hey, you know what, Joseph, a bull don't fight in circles. A bull can't fight in circles. And we're going to keep everything in the center of the ring. We're going to keep pasting him up, and we're going to force him to reset because he depends on being flat-footed to let his hands go.
Yeah.
We're going to keep turning him in the center of the ring, and we're going to beat him up with speed and precision. And if he wants to try and stand his, if he wants a firefight, hey, we'll push him and we'll force the fight on the inside because our guy is much better an inside fighter, defensively and offensively, than Dave Benavides. We are going to show everyone that he made a big fucking mistake. And the only thing that I'm worried about in this matchup for Team Morrell is, have we ever seen his chin check properly?
No.
Nope. And once again, look, even though he's been a baby belt holder for quite some time, there's something that John Chargan taught me a long time ago and rings true today.
Don't overhype a prospect.
Don't don't get too high on any prospect until you see how well they can take a punch.
Yep.
We have never seen that. We've seen David Benavidez' chin. The only time he was knocked down is when he was off balance because of his atrocious footwork. He was caught crossing his feet. Now, can Morrell take advantage of that? Yes, and they're going to. But I'm sorry, guys. When you fight David Benavidez, you're going to get touched. His volume is a serious dilemma for anybody. And at 75, guys, and once again, just like I stated, DeCubas Jr. was putting too much emphasis on his last performance. I think Morrell and Ronnie are as well. Like, I know Benavidez came out fast out of the gate because, let's just face it, traditionally every performance before this, he's traditionally been a slow starter. The reason why, and once again, I'm familiar with everyone in their camp. And so I found out, and I was the only one who announced before the fight, his last fight, that he suffered a cut during camp. So he didn't have a full training camp. And I didn't know that he was nursing an injured hand. So that's why you saw him stop throwing it, his right hand, after round 6 or 7. And because he couldn't have a full camp because of injury, he ran out of gas at that time, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He looked like horse shit in the final 4 rounds of that fight. So I will say this. Both guys have a lot to prove at 75. And I will say this, stylistically, this is the worst possible opponent that David Benavidez could have chosen outside of Bivol and Beterbiev. In my opinion, this derails the Mexican Monster Express.
Joe, and for me, when it comes to Benavidez' last fight with Vostok, people, I think are overlooking. Vostok is a good, like, people complain that he didn't knock him out right away and stuff like that, but not every one of his opponents that faced Vostok said he's the hardest guy to knock out. That's what people.
Look. Anthony, I will say this, and you're right. Thank you for bringing that up. That's a very good point. Because I'm sorry, guys, at the elite level, knockouts, unless you're in the heavyweight division, rarely happen. Rarely happen. That's why everyone's like, oh, man, Bivol versus Beterbiev, man, there's a good chance we're going to see a knockout. No, I don't think so. I think we are going to see for the very first time someone meet the final bell on Saturday. And even if Beterbiev knocks him down several times, I think he's going to have a hard time getting Bivol out of there. Because once again, like, when is the last time you've seen a devastating knockout between 2 elite level fighters on the biggest stage? The last time we saw it, guys, was Terrence Crawford against a shot Errol Spence Jr. And before that, I can't remember.
The last one
at elite level, we don't see knockouts very often. They're at this stage for a reason, guys.
The fight,
TBS,
the last fight.
Anthony, let's hear from TBS. It's been a minute. TBS, what are your thoughts on everything that has been stated up to this point, sir?
Well, you all bring up good points. You know, Morrell's chin has not been tested. I have a question for everyone on the panel. Who has the quicker hands? That's what I'm not sure about.
Yep.
David.
Yep. Honestly, it's really, yeah, they're both named David. Good one, Anthony. So,
Benavidez.
Very good. It's hard. Well, you thought you were going to get that one past me, didn't you, Anthony? No. They both have very fast hands, but Benavidez, oh my gosh, man, that guy is a tornado. If you square up in front of David Benavidez, that is your ass. You will not win in a firefight against David Benavidez. You will not. So once again, if you are unsuccessful and cannot consistently keep the fight action in the center of the ring, consistently turning this guy, forcing him to reset, then that's your ass. I cannot see anyone except Beterbiev beating him if you engage in a firefight with this guy. Benavidez is for real, man. I don't give a shit what Canelo fans like to say. They tried to discredit him. Look, what we say on this, and once again, you brought this up, TBS, and very good point, that their fans insist that both Morrell and Benavidez are the boogeyman of both respective divisions. Man, look, what do we say on this show? There are no such thing as boogeymen in this business, just non-ticket sellers. Because I'm sorry, if they could sell as well as Canelo Alvarez, everyone would be waiting in line to fight their asses. Because
Yeah.
they're fighters, guys. Look, ducking is a fan-driven concept that genuinely doesn't exist in this business, or else they wouldn't be stepping in the ring. These guys are fearless. For enough money, everyone would like they're brimming with confidence, and they have to be, or else they wouldn't be in the fight game. So these guys, if you put enough money in front of them, they would fight King Kong and be happy about it. And they, in their mind, would say, you know what? I know I'm the underdog, but I think I can win this. I think they're picking on the wrong guy.
Yeah.
That's how every fighter thinks, even at the club level, guys. Do you think these guys that are asked to be opponents to be flown in to be featured on an undercard on ESPN Top Rank, do you think any of them go in there with the mindset that they think they're going to lose? None of them. Even at the club level, they're like, you know what? I'm going to change someone's life today. I'm going to change someone's future. They picked on the wrong motherfucker. I'm going to teach them a lesson for thinking that I'm the underdog and I don't have a prayer to win. They go into every fight thinking that.
But some guys do take fights for the money, though.
No. Every fighter. This is prize fighting. Every fighter takes fights for the money. Like
when they
Canelo.
say it for, it's for
Listen. I'm going to stick up for Canelo here. Like Canelo, when he says, "Oh, you know what? 150 million, I fight him tomorrow." This is a guy who was considering moving up to heavyweight to fight Usyk at one time. Because this guy, yeah, that was real, guys. This guy, Canelo Alvarez, he not only thinks he's the big swinging dick in every ring, he knows he is. In his mind, he views Benavidez as, man, you've never been properly tested. You never fought anyone like me. Not with my defense, not with my power. I would whoop your ass, brother. But yes, I do recognize it's a dangerous fight. And is it worth the trouble? No. Can I make money fighting the Berlangas? Yes, a lot of it. So I'm going to stick to that. Go fuck yourself. You've disrespected me publicly. So guess what? Wait in line, Junior. I don't need you. You need me. And until you can actually set up a meeting privately where you're not talking down to me, yeah, then I will listen. But until then, go fuck yourself. I don't need you. You need me. So if you want to fight, get on one knee and kiss my freckled redhead ass. That's the reality, guys, because ducking is a fan driven concept that doesn't exist within the business. And he's setting that high financial baton, right? He's setting that bar very high because Benavidez has been a complete ass publicly. And I'm sorry, Canelo, when has it ever been a good tactic to try and force Canelo Alvarez into an ultimatum?
look at what happened to
Boo Andrade? Yeah, I was there in San
Andrade.
Antonio. Yeah, I was there. And he said, you know what, man? Go get the fuck out of here, man. He'll tell you that to your face. Hey, brother, you want to fight? Don't disrespect me in front of my people. I'll fuck you up in the parking lot. These are fighters, guys. They're fearless. This is what they do. So fans are trying to tell me, dude, they're telling me that one of the best pound for pound fighters in boxing is afraid of another guy in the ring. Shit.
Yeah, no, and Joe, I said this. I was on another panel earlier today, and I said this, and people thought I was crazy. But if the fight had happened with David Benavidez and Canelo, I think it would have you know how we said Canelo changed after the Floyd fight, like in terms of how he prepared himself, like to fight, like how he fights inside the ring. I think that's what would have happened to David Benavidez. It would have actually helped him, like, improve whatever. Like, the loss to Canelo would have helped improve him on stuff that he had weaknesses, like deficiencies and stuff. Do you agree, or am I having way too much faith
look,
in
I will
Benavidez?
say this. I will say this, and welcome to the show, my friend. And hey, 76ers fan, welcome to the show, Victor J. We appreciate it. Adam, now I'm going to state the case now against Canelo Alvarez. And this is part of really what's wrong with this sport and this business. Adam says people were putting down Benavidez and calling him a duck. Then he makes a great fight with like this. F Canelo. Fight the winner or you are not the king. First of all, I'm once again, I'm going to defend Canelo here. And then I'll start talking what are the pros and cons here. Now, once again, in this business, TBS, what makes you the king in this business?
Being undisputed, being the face of the sport.
No, fuck that shit.
Dinero.
That doesn't matter.
Dinero.
Yeah, it's being able to sell tickets and sell pay-per-views. That's what makes you the king in this business. He who has
I mean, in other words, being the face. Yeah, in other words, yeah.
That's it. Look, everyone lives by the golden rule in this business. Now, once again, what do we like to say on this show? There are only two reasons why anyone gets in this business, including Benavidez. Right? One, to make money. Two, to make more money. It's prize fighting, guys. So, look, that's what makes you the king. Now, here we go. This is my case against Canelo. And this is what's wrong with the business. Look, this is a perfect example. Canelo, once again, this business is comprised of thousands of sole proprietorships, and not a one of them gives two shits about the future of boxing and the health of the sport. Canelo is a perfect example. I'm sorry, but Chavez, your hero, Julio Cesar Chavez, not his fucking mamon son. I'm talking about the king, El Campeón, El Gran Campeón.
Senior.
That guy, yeah, that guy was fearless. He was a bad motherfucker. And guess what? Even when he was past his prime, he stepped in the ring with Oscar De La Hoya. Not just once, but twice.
How old was he? Joe,
Huh?
he was 30. He was 34, right? That's the same age as Canelo.
That's right, but he had much more wear and tear than Canelo Alvarez. Right? And so let's just be honest now. Styles make fights, and Canelo is much, much better defensively. And he's taken a lot less wear and tear. And he has half the fights that Chavez did at that time. So he steps in the ring with Oscar De La Hoya. Not once, but twice, gets his ass whooped twice. And why? Because one, he's fearless and he cares about the health of the sport. Fighters cared about the health of the sport back then. So did promoters. So did fans. It was a very different time, and everyone made great fights if you were able to sell tickets. And the public demanded it. And fans were willing to pay for it. Fast forward to today. No one gives two shits about the future of the sport and the health of the sport. Canelo, why don't you try giving back to the sport that made you a very wealthy man? Pass the torch. At least give this kid an opportunity for the health of the sport. And why? Because the real bosses demand it. Give me one fight, one matchup that would be a bigger attraction in the American market than Benavidez Canelo at this time. I'll wait.
I was gonna say Morel, but Morel wasn't ready.
Fuck Morel, man. Dude, no.
No.
Look, David Benavidez versus Canelo is the biggest fight you can make in the American market at this time. And there's only one man who's depriving us of this, the real bosses of boxing, of seeing this. And it's not Benavidez, because he's the B-side. When is a B-side at fault for a major fight not happening?
When he doesn't, Joe, when is the B-side? When is the B-side responsible? When he fails to petition and moves out of the division.
No. That has nothing to do with it, because we all know since Canelo, that might have been a good argument if we hadn't already seen Canelo dump titles in the trash. They mean nothing to him at this point. Belts mean nothing to any prize fighter. Why do you think Benavidez doesn't give two shits about a fucking title? He wants the real brass ring. Everyone knows that the biggest prize and the biggest commodity in boxing is beating the money man, beating the king in terms of ticket sales and pay-per-view, beating the biggest attraction in the sport. And that's Canelo at this time. And it's a winnable fight. In my opinion, this is a 50-50 fight. When Canelo was in his prime, when he was the Marauder of 68, when he broke Billy Joe Saunders' face, at that time, no, Canelo, I would give him the edge 60-40. But right now, it's a 50-50 fight.
I agree.
And Joe,
hold on. He's depriving the fans of the opportunity to see the best matchup that can be made. This is what's wrong with the sport, guys. Look, man, dude, this sport, the fans made you a very wealthy guy. You never have to worry about money for the rest of your life, including your kids. So give back. At least give this kid the opportunity and glorify the fan base. Say, hey, you know what? You've been wonderful to me, fans. I'm going to give this back to you. And you know what? Canelo fans should be all for it. Yes, whoop his ass and show him that you're the best fighter. This fact, this idea that fans are making excuses for Canelo is sickening.
I'm all for it.
Anyway, that's my soapbox, guys. So have at it. Hugo, your thoughts on everything, the diatribe that I just went on.
I agree 1,000%. I mean, I'm not a Canelo fan. I'm probably one of the more critical of Canelo. Everything you mentioned is exactly correct. I think, especially him being a Mexican fighter, this is exactly what he should do. He should pass on the torch like Julio Cesar Chavez did. That's why when people talk about Julio Cesar Chavez, why do you think he gets so much love in and out of the ring, man? Even to this day, he's such a loved personality. He brought the country together. He made Mexico shine. He's just that guy, and like even I was born after he was after he did his run in the 90s or whatever. Before that, the late 80s to 90s. But still, I venerate that motherfucker. He's one of the all-time greats, man. And Canelo should do exactly that. The problem is, as you mentioned, there's a lot of apathy in the fan bases. A lot of people are, for whatever weird ass reason, don't really care. I think it's just a disgusting. It's just disgusting where the sport is at, because I was, me at first, I didn't necessarily hate this guy before, but then once I started interacting with the fan base, and the fan base would say that every time, like, not even bring up arguments, but they'll say shit like, "Oh, you just hate him because he has more money than you. Oh, you just hate him because you're not as famous as him." I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything, man? The standard has been placed, right?
So
Yeah.
Thank you for making that clear, because once again, I don't think any fans dislike Canelo and what he does in the ring. He's one of the best pound for
it's
pound
the
fighters in
cult
boxing.
that they hate.
But man, he's weird, and I'm not speaking and pointing to TBS. He's a very knowledgeable boxing fan first and foremost, but he does support Canelo, and I can't take anything away from that. Fans are
You're talking about the cult.
Here, listen, fans are what this sport was built on. Wave that fucking Canelo flag, baby. I love it, but do not act like pride flag waving sissies and make excuses for him not making this fight.
Exactly.
You can't justify it. You cannot. You cannot justify why no one is bigger than the sport itself until recently, apparently. These fighters think that, oh man, I'm never gonna let the sport retire me. I'm gonna retire. Fuck you. Then retire now. Because I'm sorry, we and promoters should all, and networks should all adopt this mentality. Sorry, man, we do not negotiate with terrorists. Either you take what we're giving you or kiss my ass.
Okay. I hear you.
Go ahead, TBS. Go ahead, TBS. Yours.
And so I understand that Canelo shares the blame in this, but also Team Benavidez is all over the place. You know, his promoter Sam Lekowitz has gone on record.
No. Look. Samson is a great guy, and he wants this fight desperately. But I will say this: yes,
That's not
you're
what
right.
he
Here,
says.
listen,
That
dude. What he says on in media is for the sake of the fans and sake of media. Okay. And now, once again, I know Samson. He's a stand-up guy, and he's one of the best, most straightforward people in this business. And as a result, pretty much everyone likes working with Samson. Hold on, real quick. Man, can you stop cutting off people, Joe? Well, look. Because of my experience in the business, you should be thanking me because, hey, ring the bell, brother. School's in session. So listen and learn something. I'm going to tell you. So once again, I know Samson, and this is where Benavidez fucked up. And I've already stated this on this panel. Where Benavidez fucked up is he seems to think that going through media sources and criticizing, bashing verbally Canelo Alvarez is the best way about going and getting this fight made.
it's clout chasing, essentially.
Basically, yeah. And it's like, dude, that doesn't work with Canelo Alvarez. And it didn't work with Floyd Mayweather, and it didn't work with Manny Pacquiao, and it didn't work with Oscar De La Hoya. Okay? What works, because here I'm going to pull the curtain back, Simpin. Now listen and learn, brother. I'm going to pull back the curtain. All the bad blood that you see from the Benavidez family, like they have it in their mind, and I think it's their dad's fault. They raised him this way. And they seem to think that it helps by bashing and bad mouthing everyone, going into each and every fight with a chip on their shoulder. And they're not the only one. Terrence Crawford does that shit too. Like everyone's against him. They do that. And they think it helps them, motivate them in training and going through with them. But once again, that's not how you make a fight. I'm pulling the curtain back now. Guys, all the bad blood that you see is for the sake of the fans and the media. They think it helps, but in this situation, it's hindering. And the only reason why Benavidez hasn't gotten this fight is because he hasn't approached Canelo behind closed doors. Hey, can we set up a meeting? Because if you approach that in a business sense and say, look, here's the projections, I think we can both make each other the biggest payday that you could possibly make at this time. Here are the stats. Here's the figures. This is the matchup that everyone's talking about. And if he approaches him from a business perspective and humbly requests the fight, Canelo would give him that fight. I have no doubt about it. Look, he fought Golovkin 3 times. Go ahead, sir.
Joe, so when Canelo invited him, I'm talking about David Benavidez, into the ring, why didn't he step into the ring?
Exactly. Look, and once again, he's not just clout chasing. He genuinely wants this fight. Who doesn't want to fight Canelo? That's the biggest damn paycheck they're going to make. So once again, but Canelo?
Yeah, but it's going to cost. It might cost you your face getting broken. It might cost you. He might retire you. Ask Billy Joe Saunders. You know, was it worth it? Ask him if it was worth it. You know, ask some of these guys that really get hurt permanently. And so, you know, Canelo's not just like Floyd Mayweather, where he's gonna outclass you. He's gonna fuck you up in there. And so there's a difference.
Look. Once again, guys, that's not the fighter's mentality. In their mind, they are convinced that they're going to whoop that ass in the ring. No one goes into a fight thinking, oh, he could really hurt me. No, all of these guys, this is what they do. They can take care of themselves in the ring. Benavidez, that thought has never crossed his mind. Now, that doesn't even come into play. Now, I appreciate that perspective. That's a fan perspective, though. These fighters are built differently. That's why they're in the ring. But what he needs to do is negotiate this outside of the ring. Now, the reason why Morrell and Benavidez was made very quickly is because who manages both fighters? Louis DeCuba Sr. Listen, Louis DeCuba Sr. He manages Morrell, and his son, Louis DeCuba Jr., manages Benavidez. That's why this fight was made. Guys, for all intents and purposes, I know you guys don't like to hear this shit, and you're not going to hear this on any other channel, but it's a business. And for all intents and purposes, These guys are business partners. Why do you think you saw such heated rivals, and such ferocious enemies? Why do they always hug each other and greet each other at these WBC conventions? Because they both made each other a shit ton of money, and it couldn't happen without their dance partner. Like, dude, you see Duran and Leonard sit together all the time and rekindle their rivalry because it was business. It's all business, guys. It's not vaudeville. And the only thing stopping Canelo from giving Benavidez his fight is his blatant lack of respect publicly. He's like, fuck you. You think I need you? Brother, you better ask a lot nicer than that. Send me a nice fruit basket for Christmas, and maybe I'll consider setting up a meeting. But
Joe,
at
I
this
have a
point,
question.
you've been terribly disrespectful, and you can kiss my freckled ass. That's
Joe,
the reality, guys.
Joe, this applies to what we're talking about. I asked it earlier, but I'm not sure if you guys answered it. But with it, you know how it benefited Canelo later on in his career after he fought, like he changed how he fought in the ring because of the fight with a guy like Floyd Mayweather. Like he changed how he fought. Do you think if Benavidez fights Canelo, it would and loses to, let's say he loses Canelo, but it's a close fight, does it change the way Benavidez fights like it did with
Well, look, that's
Canelo
impossible. Here, listen, that's impossible to answer, but I will say this. Everyone points to when they look at this matchup, especially Canelo fans, and you can't fault them for this. Man, Benavidez thinks he's going to have his way with one of the best counterpunchers, if not the best counterpuncher in boxing. And he doesn't just touch you with his counter shots. Ask Jaime Munguia. Never even hit the canvas before a Canelo fight. And Canelo, man, and Canelo's creative combinations, man. It's virtually impossible at mid to short range to anticipate where he's going to crack you, right?
Ask Hamburger Lingo.
But
It's the feints.
this is what they don't. This is what. Yeah, he's got a brilliant defense. His reaction time, his reflexes are exceptional. Canelo, that's why his upper body and head movement is so on point. So you really have to cut off that reaction time and close the distance to be effective. There you go, brother. You're back on. And so this is what people aren't considering, though. Look at, I'll bring up Juan Manuel Marquez, who was one of the best counterpunchers in the business. What happened when he fought a real high volume puncher like Juan Baby Bull Diaz? He got touched up a lot. Or a very fast mid-range bomber like Manny Pacquiao that let his hands go. A punch with a high volume, you're going to get touched up. And Canelo knows this. Now, this is a great fight, and he truly believes he can win. Every fighter does. But if you think it's going to be open season for Canelo Alvarez against Dave Benavidez, think again. Volume is a very, very tricky thing if you're a counterpuncher. That means which target if it's constantly coming at you, it's very hard to defend.
Yeah, and I agree with that, Joe. But the thing, so I don't think anyone here disagrees with you that it will be a great fight. It's a fight that we all want to watch. My thing is, I don't understand why Canelo is the only one that's being blamed for not making the fight happen.
No, that's very simple, TVS. I don't want to talk about any of that other shit because it doesn't really matter. I've already stated, and once again, this is pulling back the curtain and letting you know exactly because, I'm very familiar with Canelo. I used to work with Golden Boy when they were cultivating and nurturing. I used to work for Don Chargan and Canelo, or Don Chargan and Golden Boy Promotions. So their cultivation process and matchmaking was absolutely brilliant, and every promoter should study that. And Don Chargan was the architect of that. So I'm telling you.
So you believe that?
I know. Canelo, if he really wanted to give David Benavidez this fight, he would, because he is the money man. He determines who he fights and when he fights. You can't hang this on the WBC. You can't hang this on the IBF.
Why not? Why
you can't hang this on a promoter?
The reason you can't hang it on the WBC is because It was never petitioned for, and he moved out of the division before it could be before the
No,
deadline.
dude, you're
Before
thinking like a fan. Don't do that. Don't do
no,
that on this
no,
show
these are
because
facts, Joe.
you're
Joe, he
no,
moved.
dude.
Okay, did Benavides not move out of the division before the deadline could be enforced? You can't even blame the WBC because Team Benavides
Stop. Hold
did
on.
not give the
No. Look,
WBC the opportunity to
stop.
enforce it, to mandate it,
Oh, stop,
And
dude.
then
Stop.
there was you know Benavides asked for extensions also, extensions to the deadline, pushing it back.
That's
All
right. And he was really convinced that Canelo would never get in this fight, and that's ultimately why he moved up. Because think about it, there outside of Canelo, there is zero money and zero other financial options at 68 outside of Canelo. It's a
okay. So
very
what?
weight line.
I'm
Hold on, but
glad you
listen.
brought up money.
Hold on.
I'm glad.
Listen. Hold on, brother. Listen. I'm going to tell you. Now, once again, this is why your case is not a strong one. Because, dude, Canelo's already proven to the WBC that, you know what, your belt means nothing. I'm going to dump it in the fucking trash if I don't want the fight. He's already done it before. He did it against
Yeah,
Gennady
and we all know
Golovkin,
that.
and he states. And why are you saying this?
And he still fought him. Didn't he?
That's
Okay,
right. Listen,
so
once
this
again,
could happen.
oh my
This
gosh,
could happen.
listen.
All right, go
I
ahead.
was
Go ahead.
working with Canelo, Don Chargan, and Golden Boy at the time when they made that decision. And the reason why they did that and kept him at that absurd Canelo weight, because they weren't ready to put him up at 60, because he was still learning how to properly cut off the ring and close the distance. He wasn't a complete fighter at the time, which is why he struggled against Erislandy Lara and lost to Floyd Mayweather. They weren't ready. So he's like, you know what? I'm not ready. Fuck, here's your WBC title. Put it in the trash. I'll fight him when I'm ready.
I
And when
disagree with that.
here, listen, dude, I was there. How
Okay,
can you
but
disagree with that?
all because from what I understand, the WBC stuck their nose in the negotiations and were demanding Canelo pay 40% of the purse. 40% of the purse. When he's the A side, they were telling Canelo pay 40% of the purse to Triple G.
TBS, stop. TBS, stop. You're contradicting your point now. You're proving mine. So when you're saying, well, why didn't they mandate? Dude, you're asking them to stick their nose the same way in Canelo's business. That's what
Yeah, but
happens
they
when you
usually
force them
don't
to
do
mandate
that.
a
The
fight.
WBC, they don't. Okay, they'll mandate the fight, but they don't say you need to give them 40% of the fucking purse.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Dude, that's part of mandating a fight. You're
Oh, okay.
asking.
So if Canelo doesn't agree with that, then that doesn't mean he's scared to do. He, like I said, he ended up fighting him.
Dude,
That fight
no
took
one.
less than 2 years. That fight took less than 2 years to make, Joe.
TBS, you're thinking like a fan. Don't do that on this channel because you know better. You know better. Once again, dude, no one can tell Canelo, not the WBC, not anyone. No one can dictate terms to Canelo Alvarez. And he's a much bigger star now than he was back at that time.
Right.
No one. And this is my point. This is why your argument is ultimately a failed one because he's already proven that the WBC doesn't mean shit. No one can force Canelo to fight. Only Canelo. That's why.
Okay.
That's why.
So it sounds like you're making excuses for Team Benavides because
Oh my gosh, dude! Stop
Samson
thinking like
Likowitz.
a fan. Stop thinking like a fan, dude.
No, I know you're cool with Samson Likowitz. Maybe you guys are boys or whatever.
No. Stop.
Look,
Now, once again, do
Samson
not insult
Likowitz.
me. Oh, listen. Do not insult me on my own channel. I have a good relationship with
I'm not.
Here, listen,
No.
I have a good relationship with everyone in this business.
I'm not insulting you. I'm not. How am I insulting you?
You're thinking relatively. Don't do that. I'm in this business.
I'm speaking facts, Joe. I'm speaking facts.
No. You're voicing an opinion that's based on what you think and what.
No. You told me that you know Sam Likowitz, right? Those were your words.
Right. And you know what? I don't only know him. My relationship in this business is not just confined to Samson. I have a very good working relationship with most people in this business. right?
Okay. So I'm
Okay,
taking you for your word.
okay. Now, once
I believe
again,
you. I believe you.
listen,
I believe you.
listen, dude. Listen, I do not think like a fan. I haven't in over 20 years. When you're in this business, you don't think like a fan. I wish I did. Guess what? The fights would be a lot more fun for me if I did. Now, I don't give two shits. As long as the fans are happy and as long as the sport is healthy, I don't give a fuck who wins. Like someone in the comment section actually said, "Oh, you're just pulling for Morrell because you're tight with Ronnie." Ronnie even knows that I don't give a shit unless
Okay. Can I
I'm
can I just say
unless
something
hold on,
before?
listen,
Because
unless
I gotta
my
go
my
soon.
yeah, my final thought. Unless Canelo, unless Benavidez, unless Morrell hires me on as a publicist, I don't give a shit. They're not paying my paycheck. So the floor is yours. Your parting shots for this, brother.
Okay, so in 2 minutes or less, I'm just gonna say this. Samson Lekowitz has gone on record many times, bro, saying that they're not interested in Canelo. They don't need Canelo. They're happy with their little interim belts. That they're happy with the money they're making. He went on he did an interview on Pro Box in Espanol, saying that he's good friends with Mauricio Suleiman. And this is you could go. You don't have to take my word for it. This is all verifiable. Okay. He said, yeah, we go way back. Me and Mauricio go way back. He's a good friend of mine. I can ask him to mandate the fight, but I don't want to ask him that. It's like, why not?
Because it won't
You
make
know?
a fucking difference. Here, look. And
Oh,
what he said,
oh my
here,
God! But that's his home. That's his. He just said like he could do it, and he won't. So why leave a stone unturned if
oh
you
my
can
God,
turn it?
dude.
And so
Because
that's my point, Joe. That's my
dude,
point. Is
I know
the blame goes solely on
got it.
Canelo,
Okay. So obviously you're
and you have to also keep that same energy, as they say, with Team
no,
Benavidez, bro,
dude, you're
because
taking
they're
it like
very
a fan.
inconsistent.
Oh, first of all, hold on, brother. Once again, you're not
Yes,
talking
because
to a
as a
fan.
fan, I want to see the fight. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I
Exactly,
am a fan.
exactly. So once again, do not insult me on my own channel. I will
I'm
tell
not
you this.
How am I
Once again,
insulting you, Joe? How am I insulting you?
because you're not listening to you're only interested in
Oh,
telling
okay,
your
I gotta
fan
go. I gotta
perspective.
go, man.
God bless you, brother. Thank you for being here. Now, once again, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. Oh, he's a good friend of mine. Everyone is friends with Mauricio Suleiman in this business. I am too. And look, look, hold on. TBS didn't insult Joe. Yeah, he did. Once again, trying to talk to me like he insulted me by saying, "Oh, you sound like you're making excuses for Team Benavides." Chingao, brother. Dude, once again, I'm going to say this again. And I know it's impossible for you fans to understand this because you guys don't think like this. But I don't think like a fan. I'm in this business. I don't give two shits about who wins. I just care about the fights being made. That's it. And why? The only bias I have on this channel and in my work is the health of the sport. If something is not positive for the health of the sport, I'm wholeheartedly against it. If something is good for the health of the sport, I wholeheartedly support it. Try to wrap your heads around that, guys. Once again, if you're going to come on this channel and try to convince me that fan speak is the more logical and truthful way of thinking, then brother, I'm going to cut you off every time because that's insulting to me. Once again, I'm not a fan. I don't care. I don't think like a fan, and I never have. I haven't for over 20 years. I haven't thought like a fan. Like I said, I wish I did. I wish I did because the fights would be a lot more interesting to me. They'd be a lot more enjoyable. Ugo, your parting shots, brother.
I think I agree with you. I think that's the problem with the sport right now. The fan base seems to like, and this is happening with multiple fan bases, right? Because I know fan base is not the only one. Um, they've adopted this mindset of just not listening to what like a cult of personality simply put. So I think it's disgusting. It doesn't do good for anybody. I don't. The problem is I don't see it changing. In the immediate or in the long term until something somewhere happens, and I can't even imagine what exactly would make the needle move in that sense, because it's just not good for nobody. Not now we're just watching diluted talent. Diluted matchups, and there's only a few guys out there that kind of stand out, but the sport should be in a better place than it is now. And as you see in this guy, this kind of Lita right here, this is a problem with these guys. Because even his last point when he mentioned that, I understood your point. Like, what does it matter if you reach out to Solomon? If Canelo's the guy that has all the leverage, Canelo's gonna dictate. He doesn't give two shit. He's proven many times he doesn't care what Solomon says to him. He's gonna do what he wants to do.
And look. He doesn't give a shit about any world title. And look, these guys are not going to force Canelo's hand. It's already been proven. Like, he's already proven that he doesn't give two shits. And if you try to force his hand, what is he going to do with this WBC belt? He's going to dump it in the trash just like he just did with the IBF.
Exactly.
He doesn't give two shits about that. Belts and these presidents of these sanctioning organizations, they understand that, boy, my title is worth a lot more around Canelo's waist than it is around Christian Mbili or David Benavidez. So that's it. That's it, guys. And once again, if you want to know the extent of my involvement with Don Chargan and Canelo, I was working with Canelo's chief sparring partner for the Mayweather fight, Keandre Gibson. Who do you think got him that? Me and James Gogi. That's where my involvement was with Canelo Alvarez and Team Alvarez. Once again, I know Canelo. I know his trainer, Eddie Reynoso. I know Oscar De La Hoya. I know Eric Gomez. Guys, once again, you guys are thinking relatively, right? Now, will you guys ever get the opportunity to work with Canelo or Golden Boy or anyone? No. But guys, you guys are fans. You pay for tickets and you steal events and you pay for the occasional pay-per-view for that features Canelo. But I don't have that problem, dude. I don't have that problem. Right? So once again, the truth isn't relative, the truth is absolute. Now once again, don't if you want to try and argue, don't come at me with this fan-driven bullshit nonsense. Because you guys think like fans. If you want to learn something about this business, then just simply ask me. But don't sit there and try to argue with me and throw fan-driven bullshit. Like, oh man, every stone wasn't unturned. Dude, when the stone belongs to Canelo, no one's gonna turn that except Canelo. Do you got that? Are you getting that yet? Fuck me, man. It's like beating a dead horse with these people. Anyway, so thank you for being our guest, Ugo. And hey, man, come back, brother. Now that I know you, now that I've spoken to you, come back anytime you want, my friend. You're more than welcome. Just like TBS is. I still love TBS, but once again, do not insult me and accuse me of thinking like a pom-pom waving fanboy, because that is not the case. Once again, Samson isn't the only guy I have a good relationship in this business. That's why I'm in this business, motherfucker. How's that? You guys want me to talk to you like that? You can kiss my ass. I'll give you the Canelo answer. Hey, get the fuck out of here, man. Shit. Maybe you guys will start understanding that. Guys? Anyway, yeah, thank you for being on the program, brother. And guys, on behalf of Anthony Manzano, on behalf of TBS, on behalf of Ugo, I'm Joseph Heron. You've been listening to Warwick Boxing. Have a great evening, everybody.
But
Vashon Holdings proudly presents War Week Radio Chats with ring announcer Joseph Herron.